Probably right. We're back here on the Bako Motorsports Power Hour. We're talking. Blake Bowser's talking about all his many duties. He's like, this is Blake's duties. He's technically the vice president and general manager, but he also drives like the truck, fights fires, does some concession stands, drags his kids around to make them do concessions t-shirt sales.
T-shirts,
T-shirt sales.
Yeah.
And then he has to deal with Matt over there in the corner, who's got like lots of prizes.
That's a full-time job.
That's a full-time job.
Yeah.
He did a good job last week.
Okay.
When you were like lounging about in Pismo with the rest of Bakersfield.
I was taking care of my kids.
How many people from Bakersfield did you see when you were at your hotel in Pismo?
Surprisingly, not a lot. Everybody had their phones glued to their faces playing Pokemon. So I didn't recognize anybody. Right. I have to admit, I was guilty too. I went down there and did all right.
That's why you get the activity tracker too. Because I went with my daughter. The first night she says, "I can't believe you downloaded that app, Dad." And then next thing we know, we're like halfway across town,
walking around.
Yeah. In fact, our producer today, she rode her bike 5 miles one day and got food poisoning and heat exhaustion from doing it. So it's a deal. Yeah, it is fun. Fun is what you guys do and put on a show with in the Fuel Alter class that we were talking about, and we're talking to James and Danny Valencia. And they are heading up to Boise. And one of the things we were talking about before you came on, this is an incredibly expensive endeavor to run these cars. It's a labor of love. And the thing I was talking about with Mike that I respect about everybody is that you guys have real full-time jobs. We were talking about it a little bit before. But then you go into your hobby, which basically is another full-time job.
100%. Yeah. If we're not at work, we're working on this thing.
Yeah.
And if we're not working on it, we're talking about it.
Yeah. You know? How often, I mean, so you live in Bakersfield, you live in Tehachapi. How often do you guys talk to each other about the car? Do you get on the phone? Do you text message? Or what? How does that work exactly?
Well,
how does the relationship work?
Say if any of our bosses are listening.
More than we should.
Before 8, after 5 every day, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lunch. You can talk at lunch.
Danny and I mean, we're not only brothers, we're best friends. And so throughout the day at work, we'll talk 5-6 times or text each other.
Yeah.
Always talking about what we're doing. 'Cause since I'm in Bakersfield, he's in Tehachapi. A lot of times we'll break the car up, different components. Right now, parts of the motor at my house, and he's working on something else. So we just kind of coordinate it. Then we'll get together on the weekends and put it all together. And,
right.
You know, it's a pain. It'd be easier if I still lived in Tehachapi, but we make it work.
Right. And that's something that's interesting, too, is that, you know, your brothers, so your family, but you also have this friendship and this partnership over this deal. Does it ever go south ever? I mean, you ever get into disagreements, or do you guys pretty much work it out between the two of you?
No, it always seems to work out. Plus, I think he's a little afraid of me.
I've never seen him not smiling. That's the honest to God truth. I've never seen these two not smiling.
No, we get along. It didn't used to be like that when we were younger, but I think as we've gotten older and mature, and now we have a financial interest together, we kind of force ourselves to get along. But no, it works really well.
You ever had a family meal and never discuss racing?
No, never.
We try that for fun. We go out of town. My dad and I go to Pomona for the race. Okay, we're off for the weekend. Let's not talk about anything but, and we just sit there and just go, nice shirt you're wearing today. Nothing to talk about.
Our wives don't really like that too much.
They don't.
Family gatherings. It always turns into racing.
I mean, but that's kind of that's kind of how it's supposed to work, though, right? I mean, you're supposed to talk. I mean, what a perfect thing to talk about is your passion, your hobby, and that's a fun thing to talk about. When you go to Boise, we're talking a little bit about sponsorships. Do you have sponsors? How does someone get involved to sponsor what you guys are trying to do?
Right now, we have a little bit of product support as far as sponsorship. Mm-hmm. We're trying really hard, campaigning, looking for marketing help over the winter to come out to the March meet. But mostly it's all out of pocket. Yeah. It's a new class, new car, so we're hoping that'll really spark up some interest, especially in the Bakersfield area, where we could bring the car out for displays at a grand opening type thing, or at the March meet when we're out there, have somebody's business all across our pits or on the racetrack. And we get a lot of exposure. We've got a lot of fans. People follow us on Facebook. So there's a lot that can be done with a marketing partner, and we just keep promoting our brand and talk.
How many people in Sweden follow you guys on Facebook?
You know, I've never really looked, but I know I've got a lot of Facebook friends from Sweden. 'Cause I always have to. I have a lot of messages on there I need to translate.
Yeah.
Well, I know that we looked at this at the March meet last year. Our Facebook page, we had like 15,000 people from Australia look at our page. I don't know, it was probably crazy for you guys. You have a lot more likes than we do, but
that's our number one.
That's Australia, right?
Following country, other than the U.S. But and Sweden's up there though. It's Sweden, Germany.
It's big for a small country.
Really, anywhere there's drag racing, that's the interest,
Mm-hmm.
and there's drag racing in all those different countries. It's amazing. You know, it's England.
Ask you about this on the performance side. You're trying to run 6.0. You're running nitro. Are you looking to longevity on the engine and try to get it to go down there, but keep it tame enough so that you're not hurting parts like AA fuel dragsters do?
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest things about this class. I mean, we're a couple tenths slower than the funny cars, but we can run a bigger fuel pump, which saves a lot of parts.
Yeah.
We don't eat up parts. We might pinch a ring or something like that. So there's not as much maintenance to do on them. Doesn't cost as much. Last year we went to Sacramento, and it was an open nitro show with the dragsters and the altereds. We were the only altered that showed up with the Nostalgia Top Fuel dragsters, and we were running with them. We qualified third in the first round of eliminations. We were the quickest of the round. And we all kind of laughed and giggled because after the first round, we're eating our lunch and barbecuing.
And they're thrashing.
They're thrashing, tearing it apart. Some guys are pulling blocks out. We just maintenanced it, put oil in it, reset the clutch.
We didn't even pull the heads. Just
we didn't even pull the heads.
Yeah.
And
that's
the fuel
why
pump. That's why we really enjoy this class.
Yeah.
Outstanding stuff. Real quick on your schedule, Blake, going forward, you're pretty much off for this, but then right back into, was it August 6th we're back?
Street Tuner night, not this, but next Saturday.
Okay.
Then we're off to Boise.
Right.
And then we come back and do Red List, ANRA, one weekend off, and then our last summit race, and then we do our heritage race, which includes our Saturday Night Nitro.
Yeah.
Which there's a little thing came out on DRO about a possibility of a 6-second Nitro Bracket Association, and that's actually what we're doing for our race in September. We're going to do a 6.0 Nitro show. Anything goes. These guys can race a funny car or a top fuel car. Wow. Gary Dincham can bring his big show funny car. We don't care what you bring.
Yeah.
It's got to burn nitro. It's got to go 6 seconds. So there's so many guys that want to come, and I can't put a purse up for fuel alters, for top fuel, for funny car. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
For a one-night show, we can't. We'd lose too much money doing it.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it this route. We're going to just say it's a 6.0, anything goes, burning nitro, and it's got a pretty good purse because we're going to take some of those purses and combine them up, and we're looking right now at about a winner's pay about $6,000 right now. So it's going to be a pretty good deal.
That'd be a lot of fun to
you
watch.
guys are the first ones to hear that.
Yeah,
so.
there you go.
So I put a couple of feelers out. I talked to Brad Thompson. I may have to call him. And I forget who I'll talk to, and the word got out a little bit. So I'm going to find out who leaked that out. But no, it's good.
Well, I'll put my investigative reporters on it because they'll find out just like they found Lewis's new adult.
Yeah, nobody in this room knew about it. So I called Brad and said, what do you think about? And I forget who else. It may have been, he was just here testing. Don Hudson was here last week testing, and I told him about that. So I'll figure out who.
So these guys are pretty. Are the funny car guys pretty happy about that? Do they just slow
They don't know
down?
about it yet.
Oh, they don't know about it. Other than the two that you mentioned.
There's some guys that want to come there and run 560s. Won't be, but it's not a test session for. It's not designed to be a test session for October. This is designed to be a show. Right. And the fans that pay to get in want to see a show, and I want cars going down. Just what's happened with the fuel alter class. We have
so that allows
side by side.
Allows the Valencia brothers to come and run if they so desire.
And they ran last year, actually. They did. We did a purse last year for fuel alter, and they were there. We did a purse for funny car, and then Tom with high speed, the top fuel car, Tom Sheelar. He put up the purse for the little shootout but you combine all those purses, and we just can't afford to do all of them. It doesn't make sense.
So you're just going to do one.
We're just going to do one big purse and line them up.
If anybody wants to come test, can they still do that?
Certainly, you can go there and blow a run. If you want to go out there and run 560, that's on you. You're not going to qualify. Same deal. It's going to be everyone's going to make a run. The quick 8 will come back. We'll pair them up. Quickest winner gets the paycheck. So it's a pretty simple Saturday night.
As a spectator, that'd be an awesome show.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to see altereds against funny cars, or
that'd be great.
You know, kind of motivated. Last year we had the jet car race, the Winged Express at the March meet, and I just started thinking, okay, we need to get a little more, not that route, but we need to get these cars together somehow.
Right,
so
mix things up.
Yeah, the funny car guys that are killer teams, no, they're not going to like it. Is Jim Murphy going to like it? No, but you know what? They can test to half track, and then they can dope out what the car's going to do the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So if they want to get paid, then they'll do it.
It'll be fun to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
I mean,
It'll be a show.
It'll be an absolute show.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
which
That's
has
the
been
main thing that you're looking for, right?
Absolutely. It's a Saturday night deal. We're only there for 6
he's
hours.
doing work. He's doing work. He's doing work on these guys. He's doing work on Bowser. It's going to be a good thing tomorrow.
I think overall, I'm sorry, Lewis. I think overall in nitro racing, we are headed towards some sort of an index situation, just to keep these things from just being on kill.
Yeah.
And guys like this can afford to do it and have fun, and like they make the run. They're the ones barbecuing in the pits. You go by a top fuel team and they're pulling blocks out, and it's like, really, guys? This is the March meet, man. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Look around once in a while.
Affordability,
So,
man. I'm always marveling at that too. It's like watching those guys work, and it's like, is there any money in that?
I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by
Yeah.
what they can do,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
after a
it's
while,
tough.
you just can't sustain itself.
Right.
So we need to kind of step in and maybe do a little something different.
Just real quick, you can just yell it to us when we repeat it. What new do you have for the Saturday Nitro? Three-way Chevrolet.
They're giving oil changes.
Oil changes from Three-way Chevrolet. Okay, that's good.
Shoot, I thought they were giving away like a Denali truck.
Yeah, come on.
We got to start somewhere.
A new Corvette.
So we're gonna.
But don't forget, Toyota Nationals is Strip in Las Vegas, Motor Speedway, 2 nights.
All right.
Is grand prize.
That's the grand prize is 2 nights in Las Vegas.
At the
Yes.
Hooters Hotel and Casino.
and you get to see the Toyota Nationals
And Toyota Nationals.
at the Strip in Vegas. So far,
Yeah.
more to come. There's some Pismo stays. There's
Yep.
there's some food. There's
Barrel House,
the Barrel House cooker.
Giving away a barbecue cooker.
And this all takes place at the Saturday Night Nitro show for our fan appreciation night. So again, why we're making this
And
a
you guys
show
will be there
and
for that, right?
experience and
Hopefully.
Yeah, no, we'll be there for
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
I might want to be a fan because there's some pretty good prizes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go to the
anybody
fan
can
instead
just
of
show
taking
up,
the
do a
car.
raffle. It's a free raffle. Yeah.
Flowmaster,
Yeah.
Enno Brock, and our big sponsor,
Good vibrations.
Good vibrations.
Good vibrations.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Support Jim and those guys. All right.
there you go.
All right, we got to take a break.
Yep.
We're going to be back with Bakersfield Speedway, I think, is next. And thanks to you guys for coming in. We appreciate it
for
very
having
much. Great to have you guys in here. Blake, thank you.
Thank
we'll
you.
see you soon. And we'll
Yep.
take a break after these messages here.